Hello, welcome to the Enotri Kitchen. I am special guest Chef Wesley Golembioski, and we're going to go ahead and create something special for Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. What we're actually going to be starting with is the 3 courses, and we have various Enotri wines that we'll go ahead and be pairing with each course. For our appetizer, we're going to be starting with a spicy Cajun seared shrimp with a tomato mango salsa. Our entree today is going to be a roast chicken stuffed with wild rice pilaf, served with a chasseur sauce and accompanied with French green beans and sauteed beets. And the dessert that we're going to have today is something a little special: marinated berries with zabayon served in a chocolate cup. And we're going to have a little bit of fun showing you how we go ahead and make those chocolate cups from scratch. So welcome, and let's get started on our appetizer. And let's get started here on our appetizer. So the appetizer, we're going ahead and focus on this one here from Italy. It's 100% Patinat from the Valpolicella region. And one of the lucky things of being a chef is actually being able to go ahead and enjoy all the wines with the courses here. You'll find it's actually very crisp, very flavorful. It's actually going to cut very well with our tomato mango salsa, as well as that spice from the Cajun shrimp. So wonderful first course wine that is great with the appetizer, as well as just easy drinking. All right, let's get started on our vinaigrette. So our vinaigrette is essentially going to be some of the kind of everything that a salsa should have. Cilantro. We're going to go ahead and have our acids, some lime. We're going to use a little bit of citrus with the orange, and then we have some red onion. We have some diced tomatoes, our mango, of course, and we have peppers. Now, I just use the mild, green pepper, but if you want to go ahead and spice it up with different types of peppers, go right ahead. But we want to go ahead and just keep it mild for our audiences today. And then here we have our Cajun shrimp. So essentially a little bit of olive oil, Cajun seasoning, a little bit of salt and pepper, and we went ahead and let it marinate for about an hour in the refrigerator. So we'll be going ahead and sauteing that up, and of course the cilantro and a little bit of chive for garnish. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with our acid. Use the fork here to go ahead and juice our lime. We're also going to go ahead and add some orange, but just a little bit later, because I want to go ahead and start the emulsification with the acid and our olive oil. So as we go ahead, we have our acid. I'm just going to go ahead and add a little bit of olive oil. And again, it's just a light vinaigrette. You want to get the emulsification going. Going to add a little bit of our orange. So we have a nice strong emulsification for our vinaigrette. And now we're just going to essentially add our goodies. So red onions. Obviously plenty of the tomato mango, because that is essentially what makes this dish shine. And obviously salsa is not salsa without the peppers. As you can see, it's very salsa-y. We are going to go ahead and chop some cilantro. And just a rough chop. And we'll go ahead and add that cilantro. Making a little bit of a mess here, but All right. So, as you can see, it's very chunky, but with the citrus, the lime, it pops. The mango and tomato, some natural sweetness there. The cilantro is coming through. It's going to be wonderful on the spicy shrimp. Okay, so we are just going to set this aside. And we're going to get started on our shrimp. All right, so we're going ahead and we are preheating our pan here. Like I said earlier, we're going to be using a little bit of clarified butter to go ahead and cook our shrimp in. And we're probably looking at, 5 or 6 shrimp per appetizer dish here. So, waiting for our fat just to get ready and hot. And remember, shrimp, seafood in general cooks very, very quickly. So, that's an extra one coming out. So as you can see, I'm letting it go ahead and sear on one side. I'm not going to go ahead and play with the shrimp too much. Let it go ahead and cook. Right now, we're getting to smell the Cajun seasoning with the shrimp having a chance to go ahead and marinate. As you can see, it's starting to go ahead and the flesh is starting to whiten. Means it's starting to go ahead and cook through. We're going to go ahead and flip these shrimp nice and fast because we want to go ahead and ensure we don't overcook them. And what's nice is there's nothing wrong with even using the wine that you have here. Get a little bit of flavor in with the shrimp, and let us go ahead and plate. Shrimp are looking beautiful. Creating a little spiral. As you can see, it did not take long at all for us to go ahead and cook this shrimp to a perfect color and tone. Come on, there he goes. He's fighting me, he's fighting me. We finish with our salsa. Color and the flavor is fantastic. We'll go ahead and garnish it with some of our cilantro. And there you go, our appetizer. Spicy Cajun shrimp with a tomato mango salsa. Our beautiful wine from Valentine. All right, so now we're actually going to go ahead and get started on our entree. And this is the fun part where we go get to use a hammer and pound it flat here. But so normally in this recipe we use chicken thigh. When you go ahead and you're looking at the grocery store, you definitely want skin on. Not only is fat flavor, but this also helps keep our stuffed chicken together. Bone in, obviously you can save a little bit of money. I'm going to show you quickly how we go ahead and take that thigh bone out, and then we're going to go ahead and pound it flat and add some of our wild rice pilaf and go ahead and get it going. So obviously, you want to use the proper tools, but there's nothing wrong with using a Sentuco knife to go ahead and make our little cuts here. And you can even use your fingers a lot to go around the bone and then just using the tip of the knife to keep as much of the flesh on. And then scrape it down, get the other side. And again, I'm putting very little force, and that's why it's very important that you're your knives are as sharp as possible. And as you can see, we have a very nice chicken thigh here. No bone, no cartilage. It is just 100% meat. Now, this is where the fun part comes, where we're going to go ahead and pound it flat to go ahead and make it larger for stuffing, as well as because we make it a more consistent thickness, it actually cooks even a little bit faster. So, and as you can see, put it between some parchment to keep your cutting board clean, and use the avoid this part of the mallet because it's going to go ahead and perforate your plastic. But I'm going to go ahead and flatten this out. And as you can see, it becomes nice and flat and consistent. Then we can go ahead and open it up. Pilaf. So this is essentially wild rice, and then we go ahead and saute celery, onions, and then we actually add raisins. Sometimes you can add almonds. But we went for a nut-free entree today, and we're going to go ahead and put this right in the middle of our chicken, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap it like this, trying to keep as much of the filling as possible in. You create this nice little tube. And think, we used wild rice, but you can go ahead and use a dressing inside. You could use, let's say, a shrimp mousse. You can, pretty much stuff this with anything that you would like. And then, this literally goes on your sheet tray, and you go ahead and you can go ahead and put a little bit of clarified butter, a little bit of seasoning on top, and get it in the oven, 350 for about 30 minutes. And here's the finished product. Nice, deep brown color, caramelized very well, rendered out a lot of the fat of the skin that I actually added to the my demi-glace that is actually keeping warm behind me. And we're going to go ahead and start plating this soon, but we need to go ahead and finish our sauce and get our vegetables sauteed. All right, so next thing we're going to go ahead and do is make our hunter sauce. So we'll get a little bit of chance to reduce a little bit and go ahead and get those flavors together here. So essentially, chasseur sauce is hunter sauce, a very classic French sauce. And think of it, very simply as what the hunter would go ahead and find in the forest as they're, hunting on their way home. So you're going to find that, generally mushrooms. You're going to find generally there'll be some sort of tomato product. So we have the tomato product. What's also very popular, but not necessarily. The sauce turns out really well, but I have some chopped up bacon, and I went ahead and also chopped up some onions here to put them together. And that's what we're going to go ahead and start putting into our pan, because the fat from the bacon is going to go ahead and help, saute the other ingredients here. So we're going to go ahead and start. We have our pan here, and I'm going to go ahead and put in bacon and onions. We're going to get that going. To render the bacon. The onions are cooking as well. I want to make sure I don't cook it too hard. And in this fat, on the top, and I kept them whole just for kind of the shape. But if you want to go ahead and dice them, I'm actually just going to throw a little bit of clarified butter. Get some heat going. As you can see, I want to go ahead and make sure I don't burn the onions and the bacon, but yet we want to go ahead and have, some nice color on the mushrooms. We have a little bit of color there. Wouldn't mind a little bit more. Bacon, as you can see, is rendering nicely. Got a little bit of color on the mushrooms, which is nice. And they're starting to cook very, very nicely here. So, now we're going to go ahead and add our demi-glace. Listen to that sauce. Reducing nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and cook the mushrooms. It's one of my favorite sauces. That's why I'm going ahead and making a nice steak here. And now is the perfect time for us to go ahead and add our tomatoes. And as you can see, kind of my interpretation of this sauce, I like it hearty, you know, something that, you know, someone again would, as they're coming home from a hunt or something and they're putting things together for dinner, it'd be, you know, whole mushrooms and chopped up tomatoes and things like that. So we're going to go ahead and let that reduce a bit, which is going to go ahead and finish cooking our mushrooms, and we're actually going to go ahead and get our vegetables sauteed. We're going to go ahead and saute our vegetables. So we have our green beans, we have our beets. You know, one thing with the beets, you got to make sure, you know, they essentially, the color does bleed out. So, you know, you want to be cognizant of that. What I actually did beforehand is I kind of parboiled these beets. So I cooked them until you know, a little harder than al dente. So then as I saute them, they should be the perfect mouthfeel with saute, not too hard, not too soft. Same with the beans. Quickly went ahead and blanched them in boiling water to go ahead and set the color and also make it easier for us to saute. Sauce is going very well. Go ahead and saute. And add just a little bit of salt. A little bit of pepper, a little bit of seasoning. And as you can see, these will go ahead and heat up very, very quickly. Beautiful green beans. I went ahead and just cut them in a nice pommes frites sort of style. And as you can see, heating up nicely. Color is beautiful with the par cooking. You can usually get a great deep, you know, purplish red here. And you get a lot of flavor from that clarified butter. A little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt. Help bring out the natural flavor. As you can see, the dish is going to be very colorful. Lots of shapes, textures. But a very, very classic dish. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and finish plating our chicken. And right now I'm just going ahead and thinking of something almost sushi style here. And let's go ahead and give it a little cross cut here. And as you can see, it cooked very, very nicely. Beautiful. We're gonna go ahead and finish the sauce. And I like to go ahead and finish a little bit of chive. So, we have our two entrees here, and what's fantastic is we have a white and a red wine to go ahead and pair, all depending upon what you like to go ahead and enjoy. this wine here, we start with almost a rosé. So it's a nice dry wine, but it really is going to pair very well with the sharp flavors of the thyme, the hunter sauce, the beets as well. It's quite good. And then our red. Oh, very, very fruity. I'm definitely a red wine lover. And this wine here, you can, Libra Listante, you know, it's a very, very fruity wine, but it pairs very, very well with roasted items like roast beef or roast chicken here. Either wine or both are just winners with the entree. So, bon appetit. All right, and now we're going to go ahead and get started on our finale, our dessert, which is the marinated berries with our homemade chocolate cup. And we're going to go ahead and show you a simple zabaione. You find yourself, you know, small balloons. You want something, you know, roughly about this size here. And then we use just a little bit of cooking spray so that it makes it a little bit easier for you to go ahead and take the balloon out of the set chocolate. We have our tempered chocolate here, and simply go ahead and dip your balloon in the chocolate, create a nice thick cup, and then I have it set right here on parchment paper. And that, you know, if you temper chocolate properly, it does not take long for it to go ahead and solidify. Now, the fun part is that when we go ahead and actually take the balloons out of the already set chocolate cups. So, just using a blade, we're going to pop that balloon and simply pull out our balloon that was used as a frame. Where's the mold? My apologies. And set it right in the center there. As you can go ahead and see, you know, the little extra kind of rough edge, you know, makes it just, you know, a little bit, you know, more homemade, which people obviously will go ahead and appreciate. Next thing we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and get the marinated berries ready in the chocolate cups. So once the zabaione is ready, we can go ahead and spoon it over the marinated berries and enjoy the rest of the evening. Now, what's great about the zabaione is that we're going to be going ahead and using the base of egg yolks. I have 4 of them right here. We're going to be using our fantastic dessert wine, Aphrodisiac. And, you know, this wine, like you know, any other dessert wine, is intense, fruity. It's going to go ahead and complement the berries very well. And I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of cointreau, a little bit of orange liqueur to go ahead and, again, you know, add some more flavor to the berries. And we'll go ahead here, so simply in our bowl here, and we're just, you know, roughly looking for 2 portions of blueberries, strawberries, blackberries. We'll go ahead and put a little bit of sugar. Gonna add a little bit of cointreau. Toss them in the liqueur and the sugar. And then we will go ahead and plate them. That looks good. That is ready to go. Next step is our zabaione. Begin cooking the eggs and the sugar. Make sure that we don't get scrambled eggs, so you'll be mindful of the temperature and keep that egg going. And essentially what I'm looking for is when it starts to actually go ahead and ribbon. Okay, we have our ribbon zabaione. I'm going to be adding the cointreau and aphrodisium a little bit at a time here for some extra flavor. And then we will go ahead and spoon this wonderful custard on our berries. And enjoy with our Enotri Zone Aphrodisium. Happy Valentine's Day from Enotri and Wes Golembioski. Bon appetit.